Today on Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects, I'm going to try to pitch Wuthering Heights to Jordan by giving him my review of Emerald Fennell's new movie. And if Jordan is too bored, he's going to pick 3 games to play and talk about them. This is Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects. I feel like I should have shaved a little earlier. It's starting to grow out. But welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, Sunset Selects, the weekly podcast where we tell you about what you should watch, play, read, learn in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. My name is Samson, aka Samson XP, your host on this journey on discovery, self-discovery, maybe. But joined to me, of course, is Jordan, aka Sir Dr. JM from Twitch.tv, Sir Dr. JM. Actually,
wow. Thanks for the shout out there. I'll shout you on chat real quick here. /SO space Samson XP enter.
There we go. Is that how they do it over on the Twitch?
Sure is. I've been learning. Yeah, I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy that the streaming is present of mind enough to get the shout out on that side of things. So.
That's right. If you don't know what we're talking about, of course, Jordan has started to regularly stream over on twitch.tv/SirDrJM, playing a little bit of everything so far, but mostly some Overwatch. And you can also catch him sometimes on twitch.tv/TheFrenchDipDesign in the mornings, I heard.
That's right.
Playing some WoW. So make sure to check that out. But we're not here to talk about all that today. We are going to give you 2 things. You're getting a double whammy. I watched a little movie this weekend called Wuthering Heights for Valentine's Day.
Did you feel wuthered?
I couldn't tell you what the definition of wuthered is, but we can get into that.
Either. I'm hoping I used that correctly.
It's a new movie. Came out at a great time. I'll get into that in a bit. But I'm going to be giving my review and trying to convince Jordan to go as well, maybe, because I have some thoughts. I think maybe he'll like it. Meanwhile, Jordan's going to bring me 3 mobile games that he's been playing throughout the week, his recommendations, and these will be your Sunset Selects for the week. If you like what we do here, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and if you really like what we do here, go over to growuplevelup.com and pick up yourself some merch, such as a Grow Up Level Up hoodie, a Grow Up Level Up shirt, and support our little project here. We are just 2 dudes talking about things we love, whether it's games, movies, books, all the things that you should be doing in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. That's enough of the housekeeping. I want to talk about this movie, Jordan. Before I let the trailer run in the background, have you heard of Wuthering Heights 2026, directed by, I'm just going to make sure I get it right this time, Emerald Fennell?
So I have to be honest with you. I had not heard of it until it was coming out. Which, like, I mean, hey, you don't hear about something until you hear about it. But I mean, like, until it was actually out, kind of thing. And I also got to admit, everything I saw about it, didn't hear the greatest things. So I was pretty surprised when I saw you posting your review on Instagram. So
for those who don't know, Wuthering Heights is a new movie directed by Emerald Fennell. Wuthering Heights is based on a book from like the 1800s. And it has had 2 movie adaptations before. And you also might be thinking, who the heck is this Emerald Fennell person? Well, I'll name 2 actors you might heard of. Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. Two pretty big names at the moment. Essentially, what this story is, it's a love story between what seems like a person who has a lot and a person who doesn't have a lot. And you just follow them throughout the adolescent into adulthood of their lives.
Okay.
And if you haven't watched the trailer yet, you should probably check out the trailer on YouTube, because it might be a little horny, There's some suggestive things going on, and I'm not going to say that was what sold me on the movie. Most of that stuff turns me off most of the time in movies. But I will say what sold me on the movie was the soundtrack, because the soundtrack is by one of my favorite artists, Charlie XCX. Please tell me you've heard of Charlie XCX.
Yes, I mean, of course. Also has a movie out right now.
Yeah, The Moment. I need to go see that one as well.
Fair
But
enough.
this one, I think the timing worked out. It was Valentine's Day. Everyone's got to go out and do something. It's a love story, so
Mhm.
you kind of get into it. So the pitch of the movie, I guess, is we follow the lives of these two early adulthood individuals and kind of navigate their will they won't they love life. And I won't get into too much spoilers of this story that's like 200 years
Oh.
old at this point.
Mhm.
But if you are watching the trailer, I'm just letting it play in the background here. Yeah, there's some suggestive imagery, but we'll get into that
Mhm.
in the review. If
Mhm.
if that's a
Mhm.
turnoff, I'll get into it in the review. Uh, yeah, Jordan, tell me, what do you think? Just watching the trailer on mute, what do you think of this movie so far?
I mean, the biggest things that strike me about this movie, just based on the trailer, is like you can tell, obviously, it's a period piece, but you could also tell me that this was a vampire movie. Oh, we're kneading some
Mm.
dough, and I would definitely believe you that this is an old timey Dracula tale, very Van Helsing style, but also there are sort of hints of a, I don't know, a director I could compare it to. Um, but there
Guillermo
are
del
hints
Toro.
of, you know what, that's actually what I was gonna say. I didn't want to, because I think Guillermo del Toro has a very distinct style, but there are hints in that trailer of certain shots where they're playing with color, and they have very obvious reds and very obvious lighting, um, sort of framing the shot, or just highlighting the shot,
Okay,
um,
okay.
and that at least is striking and interesting to me.
Sure, sure. Well, I'm glad you caught on to that because, well, taking a step back before we dive into that,
Mhm.
if I were to rate this movie,
Mhm.
I would give this movie a 8 out of 10 that I love like a 10 out of 10. You know,
Okay.
I halfway through this movie, I leaned over to my wife and I was like, I think I'm really into this. And I'm like, and then she just nodded like, mm-hmm. Like it's got one of those. It's got style.
Mhm.
It's got a smell to it
Right.
that's hard to capture in some movies because a lot of movies is like dialogue heavy. They tell you what to think and all that. This one, it sells a lot of the story and the motivations of characters and all that.
Okay.
So so it's got like a taste that I really like. And I'm trying not to sound too suggestive, but it's got a feeling.
It's got a smell, a taste, and a feel to it, but it's not suggestive.
All right, maybe I am underselling the the horniness of it all. Right now on Rotten Tomatoes, not the craziest scores. 60% on the
Okay.
critics, 77% fan. So my if I were to be critical, I'm kind of on the more optimistic side on compared to Rotten Tomatoes. But no, I genuinely like. I think I like this movie. I don't think it's like a top tenner for sure.
Sure. Sure.
But the whole time I was in it, I was like enamored by a couple of factors: the aesthetic of it, the sound of it, the story, and like part of that is also the unpredictability of it. Like it's an
Okay.
old story, like we said, but I've never heard of this story. But I've
Yeah.
I've seen love stories before. I like watched The Notebook and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know Past Lives for more recent stuff. So like I've seen love stories, but this one kind of hits a little different because of all those extra factors. Like it didn't need to be so cinematically beautiful or have this gothic style to it. It didn't need
Mm.
to look like vampires and whatever. And that's kind of my first point. I broke my likes into three sections. The first one
Okay.
is the aesthetic. Cinematics, you nailed it, Jordan. It's got this like gothic look. It's got a style, and that is persistent in the whole film. Like it's not just for certain scenes or the big scenes, but there is a lot of thought into how things look, how things feel, and all that. Like I'll give a comparison. Slight spoilers for the story, but it's also a 200-year-old story. Okay, this the movie opens with a hanging scene. Like you see an execution, right?
Okay.
And you are down in the dirt, and
Okay.
it's like grimy. Everyone's
Mhm.
poor. It's all rags, and you get introduced to our main character, Kathy. And you find out that Kathy is just a visitor in here. She's in a nicer of a dress, And then they run away back to her home. And her home is a little bit more elevated than that, but it's still a little dirty. It's not perfect. So you kind of learn through like nobody said they were middle class, but you can tell like, oh, her family has money, but they're not rich. Like they have servants, but they're not like well off.
Right.
And then later in the story, you meet the actual well off people, and you're like, oh, okay, there's like a class divide in that way. And yeah, it plays into like the smell and the cinematic of it all. It's like, okay, yeah, these people look nice. And it looks like a place that I want to be. I don't want to be in the dirt with the horse poop and the pig's blood. So
Ew.
So that's kind of why the cinematic really works. Plus, you saw in some of the trailers, there's like beautiful sunset shots.
Yeah.
The cliffs in I believe the story takes place in like the UK, so you see all those cliffs, the big fields. Yeah, it's just very nice to look at kind of movie, if anything else. Cinematography, all that. Another thing I want to shout out is the music. Like I said, I was interested in this because Charlie XCX did a whole album for this movie called Wuthering Heights. So if you're looking for streaming, go check out Wuthering Heights. And her style, like the movie opens with one of the songs from the album called House. And the juxtaposition between
the modern soundtrack,
the modern, heavily processed, distorted, lots of traditional instruments like a cello, horns, flutes. But it has like a modern production to it. It gives it flavor. It gives that like almost like Tron like personality. Yeah. It's an artistic choice. An intentional artistic choice. So it's got that going for it as well. Like it reminds me a lot of Tron, where you don't necessarily go to Tron for like the story, but you definitely go for the aesthetics and the music,
the vibes.
Exactly. Yeah, I haven't watched the new Tron yet either, so
I haven't either. But the one before that was the one with Daft Punk, right?
Yeah, Legacy. Yeah. The story wasn't crazy; it was serviceable, but you stay because it looked.
But it was
so
cool
good and sounded so good.
Yeah.
And Wuthering Heights might be the Valentine's Day version of Tron.
It's a good way to put it, probably.
Yeah. The soundtrack definitely carries it all throughout. It was never distracting, and everything's just like very unique sounding and well produced.
That's cool.
One more shout out about the aesthetic. The casting was great. Margot Robbie, great. Jacob Elordi, I heard lots of good things about this kid. Killed it. They sell the beauty, like, I don't know if it's just because Margot Robbie is traditionally beautiful looking, but it's like, oh, okay. In the story, you kind of understand like why she's getting certain opportunities and why like why things are working out for her the way it is. Same with Jacob Elordi. He's pretty good in that as well. Another thing I liked, point number 2, the story. It was a little bit fantasy in a way.
Okay.
But very grounded.
Okay.
Like it was like
a dragon walked by in the background, not in the foreground.
Sure. No. Nothing like that. But it was like how to put it? It was very Shakespearean.
Okay.
Where it was it was a very grounded story. It was a love story, like I said. But at the same time, it was like, okay, this wouldn't happen in real life. Or would it? If you were given these choices and it was the time period it is, and there are all these other factors going on, why wouldn't you do something like this? And then you have to suspend your disbelief a little bit. So I won't spoil too much, but that's where I'll leave it.
Can I drop in with just a wild something I'm going to throw out there that I have no idea if it is or isn't in the movie? But again, watching that trailer, it strikes me as maybe there's a sprinkle or a hint of this, and you don't have to say anything. In fact, don't. I don't want to know. Don't spoil it for the audience. There's an element of time travel in the movie. That's my prediction on knowing that you say it's slightly fantasy. Although I guess that'd be sci-fi, but I'm sticking with it.
Mm-hmm.
It comes across, and maybe that's just because it does come across as such a period piece. Maybe I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying
Mm-hmm.
they did a good job with that. But I feel it in my bones that, some of those shots, like him rearing up on a horse and stuff like that, I'm like, well, he's about to go back to the portal that sends him to the future or to another time or something. So,
Yeah, it's
anyways,
about them.
that's my
Yeah, I
prediction.
mean,
Don't say anything.
yeah.
Don't confirm or
Okay.
deny. Yeah, go ahead. Continue.
Like like fantasy in a way that is believable, very grounded, but also like, all right, I have to suspend my disbelief a little bit. I don't know if fantasy is the right word now, looking back.
Okay. I
Maybe
think
it's just like it's a little fantastical. Like the story's a little too perfect. Sure. Um, at the same time, there's a lot of world building in this movie,
okay.
surprisingly. So
Lore, we love it.
yeah, like I was genuinely a little surprised because like realistically, this movie only takes place in two locations. It takes place in two locations through the whole movie.
Okay.
But the way the story goes, the lines that some characters drop, the background stuff, things happen, you learn like each character kind of has its like, oh, there's like a history to this character that brought them here. There's like certain and that history that you learn in the beginning of the movie that influences her decisions later in the movie, kind of thing. So there's a lot of world building that I was also surprised with, that they didn't leave too much out, like they didn't give you too much, but I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool that they would do that. And like love stories or period pieces, I guess. Lots of commentary on class
Right.
and culture,
Right.
gender roles,
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. So I also found that pretty interesting, like the fact that they can fit that in there as well. Now, one gripe I heard about the story was like, man, these characters are just like, it's like one of those movies where they just make dumb decisions. Now, I will ask you, if you were a middle class to lower class citizen
Mhm.
in this time period, what choices do you have?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you're not going to go home to your smartphone and go on Tinder, you know? So
You are
I'll
probably
leave that with you.
also undereducated
Yep.
and illiterate. You
Yeah.
very likely you can't read. So
Mm-hmm.
you may, and this is me not knowing the story at all, but you may take any opportunity that presents itself to better yourself, because what other
Exactly.
choices there?
Exactly. So that also may play a part in the story. It is hard to like not do a spoiler cast of this
Yeah, fair enough.
because like we were like kind of trying to guess where the story went, and it did
Right.
go places that we didn't predict.
Okay, good.
But I had like my own theories about how the story would end, because it is
Mhm.
like I call it a love story, and it's like a will they won't they, but it does kind of have a lot of interesting twists and turns and X factors that pop up and all that do keep you on your toes a little bit.
Time travel, the ultimate X factor. The evidence is mounting.
You know, there was a theory. Actually, I'll save that for the end. One gripe about the story, I guess more about the length of the movie, was there was so much packed in there. And I was actually
Okay.
surprised because I didn't even see the runtime until the end, or until just now when I pulled to the RNDB page. The movie's only 2 hours, 16 minutes long, so 2:15.
That's
But
on the long end.
near the end, I'm like, because the story was just so, it just kept going, not in a bad way, but it just felt like there was lots more story to go. I felt the movie felt a little long in that
Okay.
way.
Yeah.
But like the story was good. It was just like, how are they going to wrap this up? Like, I feel like we've been sitting here for a while.
Right.
It wraps up. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Now, I'll get to the elephant in the room, Jordan.
Okay.
I know you're thinking about it. I definitely thought about it going in.
Okay.
The sex scenes.
Okay.
What the heck? The erotic scenes,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
as the kids call it, the smut
Mhm.
scenes, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
The trailer. If you haven't watched the trailer yet, go ahead. It's on YouTube. Maybe don't watch it at work. But it's not like
It's just a
egregious
movie
that
trailer. You're fine
it's
to
just
watch
a
that
movie
way.
trailer. Yeah, yeah. They kind of sold this as kind of like this is kind of
Hornier than it is.
horny.
Yeah.
Like literally, like there's one part where Jacob Elordi picks up Margot Robbie with one hand, and then next you see is like some dough being slapped, and you're like, oh,
Yes, I saw the.
wow.
I didn't see the pickup. I saw the dough being slapped, and that
Yeah.
made me chuckle.
Yeah. And in the honestly, those scenes do happen in the movie. 90% of the time, it almost plays as a joke. It's
Really?
like it's
Interesting.
like almost like, ooh, look at how she's suggestively inserting her hand into this gelatin. And then it like cuts this something completely unrelated.
Okay.
And then
Okay.
you're like, all right, that was a little jarring. Like, does she
Yeah.
have stuff on her mind? Like, it was almost like, it's like, hey, audience, I know you're thinking when,
The
but don't
pieces
worry
together
about
for
it.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, um, I thought that was really interesting because I thought
That's
we were
funny.
gonna get like a
Yeah.
like what is it, like softcore
Mm-hmm.
porn, but
Mm-hmm.
no, it
Mm-hmm.
was tastefully done. Like when it does
Okay.
happen,
Okay.
spoiler alert, they do kiss
Characters
and
kiss. Spoiler.
bump uglies.
Oh,
Um, when it does happen, you're like, okay, yeah, this feels earned
I don't.
and makes sense for the plot.
I don't know if you
Could it?
can use the term ugly in a sentence with Margot Robbie, but anyways, go on.
True, and Jacob Elordi. Yeah,
Jacob
you're right.
Elordi too, yeah, but
I know you don't see anything graphic
fair enough.
as well.
Fair enough.
To
I don't know. Slapping that dough was pretty graphic.
So there's like a fish gelatin thing at one point. Yeah, it gets weird. I wanna stress it's
weird.
played as a
Okay.
joke, which is pretty. I thought was kind of funny because it does
funny.
happen, and then we like laughed a little bit. We're like,
Yeah.
oh, that's kind of silly.
Yeah.
So that's pretty interesting as well. That's not to say that there isn't graphic stuff. Just so you know, it's a big part of the story.
Is it rated R?
I don't think so.
Maybe 14A, PG-13.
Pulling it up. It is rated. I'll bring this up. Wuthering Heights 14A.
Okay.
If it's rated R, I'm not surprised.
Wuthering Heights rating?
Rating?
I guess you probably get a lot of rating review stuff.
14A for sexually suggestive scenes. Well, they sure are suggesting it.
For our American listeners, welcome to Canada. 14A, not PG-13. 14A.
Yeah, anyways. One more year, and you're like, okay,
exactly.
You can see.
Suddenly,
you can see the sex stuff.
Adult, yes.
Yeah, but no killing. That's not good.
Yeah. And probably only one F word until it gets 18A.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyways.
So if you're worried about that, don't worry too much. It'll be fine. It's tastefully done. I don't know if you can quote me on that, but it's fine. So
now, can I actually? You still have one more point to make, don't you? Okay, I have a question based on the comment. That was the first comment that I saw when you pulled up the Rotten Tomatoes page. It made a comment about it being, I think it said, a liberal adaptation. Now,
yes.
My question is that, and you haven't read the book, have you?
No.
Okay. But so my question would be, is that using the term liberal to mean liberal in a political sense, or is it liberal with the source material, which you probably won't be able to answer? So, well, go ahead. Is it from your standpoint? Was it politically liberal?
So it is not liberal in the political sense. It is liberal in the creative sense.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, with that, like after the movie, we just like, that's honestly after the movie I found out there was an older one with Ralph Fiennes, and then apparently this story was based on a book. Voldemort was in the original. Wow. No, I think there's been 2 movie adaptations of this or something.
Okay, cool.
So he's in one of them, and it was based on a book written way before that.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I read up on the original story, and I'm like, oh, it is quite different. The timelines are quite different.
Okay.
But I'll say less. But it is like a liberal story. But most of the things are the same. I would say the themes are the same, and the major plot points are the same.
Okay. Cool.
Now, one thing leading up to this movie, because it's been months and months of trailers and all that, I don't know who clocked it, or what group clocked it, but when they were watching the trailer, they're like, it's like, this doesn't seem like an accurate adaptation of the book. Like somebody already realized it from the trailers.
Okay.
And then with the music choice of
Yeah.
Charlie XCX, they really thought
No
they were
kidding.
going to be like, they're going to call it Wuthering Heights. Oh, and the fact that the title is stylized with quotation marks, Wuthering Heights.
Right.
Like they thought this was going to be like it starts off like the book and then it's going to go like way sideways.
Right.
Maybe with Charlie
Wuthering
XCX is like,
depths.
whoa, unwuthering depths.
Unwuthering, yeah.
With Charlie's like production, like it's gonna go into maybe some like genre bending kind of stuff. It's not gonna be just a straight adaptation. So that was one of the fan theories going in, which also kind of piqued my interest. I'm like, oh, cool. I would like to see like a
that's actually
Valentine's
quite
movie
interesting.
that's not, but the story itself, I think, like on its own, the movie, the liberal adaptation of the movie, I think it works very well on its own. It's a very cut and dry story, lots of depth, great characters, great aesthetic. It's like you said, on the longer side, over 2 hours. But I was gonna say it doesn't feel that way, but we started to feel it more so because we were kind of hungry and like need to use the washroom. But it was just like, yeah, I was gripped into the story the entire way, and it looked really good. So
right on.
Like I said, not a perfect story. I know people have their gripes. I knocked a point off for length. I kind of wanted, honestly, I could have seen this as like a part 1, part 2 kind of thing. I don't know if there's a way to naturally end the story. Maybe could have been a part 1, part 2 kind of thing. So we
when
can
the
get
time
like
travel happens.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like past, future.
Yeah, exactly.
And then into the present. So, but I love it like a 10 out of 10. No, it's not a perfect movie, but man, it was a really cool ride all the way through. I don't know. Jordan, you can watch this on your own. You can watch it with your partner. Don't watch it with your kids.
Fair
until
enough.
They're older. Actually, even when they're older, I don't think this is a family movie. I don't think you should watch this with your kids.
Look, I used to watch Dexter. I used to watch Game of Thrones with my parents. Like, I saw Superbad in theaters next to my dad. Yeah, that was something else. Actually, I think I made my sister sit between my parents and me for that
a little buffer.
But anyways, there's some awkward moments. Anyways, when we got out of Superbad, which by the way was my dad's suggestion that we go see it. He said, when we're all doing this, oh, what'd you think? How'd you like it? And me and my sister thought it was hilarious. And he goes, I thought it was juvenile.
Yeah.
And I was like, Jesus, Dad, come on. So, anyways.
A movie about straight up kids growing up is a little juvenile.
Exactly.
Good movie.
Anyways, on Wuthering Heights, I was going to say, your synopsis has made me more interested than I was before. My previous impression was bad movie. Don't need to worry about it at all. And again, that was based on what I saw on the internet. So, maybe I shouldn't judge. Seeing the trailer also piqued my interest more because I do like seeing the style and the way the font in particular actually sort of brings it all together. I really like that title treatment that it had. And also after we record, I might go watch Van Helsing because now I'm just really in the mood for that sort of time period, those corsets.
Something gothic.
Yeah, exactly. So I have it on DVD.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Yeah.
Went to see it for my 13th birthday in theaters.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's a good 13-year-old movie.
It was.
I saw Transformers, the original 2007 one. Crazy.
You know what?
Blew my mind.
Original Michael Bay Transformers. Awesome movie. Shia LaBeouf, peak Shia LaBeouf before he went off the rails, I guess. That movie's rocks. Anyways,
same with Van Helsing. Yeah. No, I'm glad. Like I said, don't put your expectations too high, but it deserves to be watched on like a nice big TV with big sound, and just enjoy the ride and don't expect anything life changing, but it's good. It's a good time.
Time travel movies do change my life sometimes. So.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when Marty McFly shows up. Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
Say you don't want to watch this movie. Say you're bored, your girlfriend or partner or whatever brought you, and you're like, all right, I'm going to pull up something on my phone. I think, Jordan, you have 3 games to tell us about that we can pull up on our phones if
I
we're
do.
watching. I'm gonna pick a worse movie. Can't think of one. Minions. Actually, I like the Minions movie.
I was gonna say the first Minion's not bad. Yeah, okay, well, you know what? I'll say this: if you're in the theater with anyone or by yourself, and you're not into the movie you're watching, if you're by yourself, get up and leave. Just friggin' leave. Okay, don't bother struggling through the rest of a movie. Okay, just leave. If you're with company and you would like to remain with them, do not just pull out your phone and start playing games. Throw your freaking jacket over your head and then pull out your phone and start playing games. I cannot
Wow.
stand when people pull their phone out
Yeah.
in the middle of a movie. All right, you're checking the time,
Yeah.
fine. Your wife is pregnant, your partner is in the hospital, fine. Take a peek. But like, anyways, I think we all know what theater etiquette is. So behave.
Surprisingly, I will say, had pretty bad theater etiquette the past couple times. This time watching
You
this
did.
movie, everyone was cool.
Oh, okay.
No, I didn't do it.
See,
I saw it.
see. You mean others. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Man, some people like light mode on the phone full brightness. I'm like,
I
at
know.
least try to be discreet.
Like, especially the full brightness thing. Like, come on, you know how to turn your brightness down. You know you're in a dark room with tons of other people. Like, at least make the tiniest effort. Exactly. Anyways, if you are under your jacket pulling out your phone during a movie, the first game I would like to recommend here is actually a callback to our previous episode with guest Kayla, of course, at Palettes and Pages on Instagram and possibly other socials. Kayla mentioned very in passing that she will, when she's going to bed, often play a game called Mini Motorways. And I immediately downloaded it. It's an Apple Arcade game. In fact, all the games I'm going to talk about are Apple Arcade games. And yeah, it's just a very simple premise and simple art style. And it is all about, honestly, building roads. You are connecting sort of a factory shape to a house shape, and a car has to drive from that house to the factory and basically do sort of a, in my headcanon, they're doing deliveries, right? They're going to the factory, they're picking something up, and then they drive it back to their house. Or vice versa. Oh, apparently it's on Switch too. So here we go. If you're watching the video version, Samson has pulled up the trailer. If you're not, hey, go to Apple Arcade and do a search for it. But you are basically drawing the roads that these cars will follow, or these vehicles will follow to the factory to pick up their deliveries. And, it starts very simple. One factory, one house, connect the dots. But then you get a different color factory and a different color house. And then it compounds from there, kind of thing. And there's a little bit more to it with, you can build motorways that are basically a freeway or a highway. You get bridges to cross rivers and tunnels to go through mountains and things like that. But this is a very straightforward premise that turns out to be a lot of fun in how it kind of is mindless, but also demands your attention to an extent. It really starts off simple and kind of slow. There is like a fast forward, so you can make it go faster. And once you get your town going, you really need to keep an eye on these deliveries, because they will basically, if a delivery takes too long, you fail the level, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Every level is a different real city. And there's nothing more to it really than, hey, we're calling this level London, and hey, we're calling this level Vancouver, and this one's Munich, Tokyo, Manila. There you go. The trailer just played a bunch of them. But anyways, Kayla shouted this out as kind of the way she described it was a game that she'll play, a level or two when she's laying in bed, kind of getting ready to go to sleep. And for me, that's like kind of the perfect type of game to play while watching a show, honestly. While watching some old episodes of Survivor, getting ready for season 50, or, under your jacket during Wuthering Heights in the theater. So
hopefully that's what you're doing under a jacket.
Oh, God. Not slapping that dough. Anyways, so Mini Motorways, it's by a company or a studio called Dinosaur Polo Club. And this was, like I say, recommendation from Kayla. So I have been recently diving into that. the other thing is, I played it with my daughter a little bit, and like one Saturday morning, usually she wakes me up, and it's funny because when I was growing up, it was Saturday morning cartoons, and for her, it's usually Saturday morning video games. Um, Usually we play something on the PlayStation or the Switch, and a couple days after I got this game, Saturday morning, I was like, "Hey, can I show you this?" And we must have sat on the couch and played this for an hour and a half straight. Like basically just no lifing, staring at my phone, dragging little roads connecting these to each other and everything. So
Yeah.
a lot of
That's
fun.
cool.
No idea how old this game is. I'm sure it's been out for years, but yeah.
I
Good.
think I think I played this game on, it might have been Apple Arcade, but I somehow got
Sure.
access to this game.
Yeah.
Yeah, when it came out, and obviously they added so much to it. It's been forever since I played it. But I
Yeah.
remember getting like very overwhelmed because at a certain point there's like cars going everywhere.
It's
You
true.
didn't plan your highway right, and now it's like things are taking too long. Um, yeah, the nice thing is like I don't think the cars crash, but
They
they
don't
just take
crash.
longer, right? Yeah.
They take longer, they get in traffic jams, and like they start to pile
Oh
up and
yeah.
everything. So like one of the air quotes power-ups you get is a traffic light. So you put it at an intersection to control the
Oh,
flow of traffic. Another one is a traffic circle, so that it can keep the traffic moving.
right.
Things like that, right? And
Cool.
I didn't mention that with each level, basically it's like, so you start with London, then the next one is New York, the next one is Dubai, et cetera, et cetera. And in order to unlock, the next 3 levels or whatever, you have to reach, 300 deliveries or 400 deliveries on the previous level. So there's a whole bunch of pre-canned levels, but then there's also daily and weekly challenges that they put out. Um, and if you reach those goals in a level and then you lose, it lets you continue in endless mode, where it just removes the fail state, um, and you just go to your heart's content. So like, I have a couple maps that I've gone over 1,000 days on because I'm just like, I'll just keep going. So
Wow. Just
yeah,
like real life. Just like
just
real
like
life.
real life. Yeah, 1,000 days
That's
delivering packages.
that's
So
pretty cool. Mini
it's fun.
Motorways
Yeah,
available on pretty much everything: Apple
is it
Arcade, iOS, Android, and Steam. Oh, and
nice?
Switch, like we saw earlier. So it's
Nice.
been around for a while. Yeah, pretty
Fair enough.
pretty chill until you get overwhelmed and now you got to
Yeah,
lock
fair
in and
enough. Fair enough.
make sure your deliveries
Well,
deliver.
if Mini Motorways is too overwhelming for you, you're probably not gonna like the next game either, which is my least favorite of the 3 I'm about to talk about. Also a game by Dinosaur Polo Club, and this one is called Mini Metro. It is a similar game in style or in sort of the visual look to it. Again, pretty simplistic art style, but in this one, you're building metro subway tunnel paths, basically. So again, dots, and you're connecting them. But in this one, you're connecting them via sort of, like I say, the aesthetic is those classic, tube maps that you've seen from England and stuff like that, or the New York subway and stuff like that. Um, I don't know why it's showing
Is
us
this
that.
the right trailer? Like
I was just
watching a
going to say,
ball
this
pour
looks like
alcohol
this
on
is the
itself?
right trailer, but I'm a little confused as to where it's going with this.
Says Mini Metro
Maybe this is like
launching.
an announcement trailer. Oh, here we go. There we go. So with this
Okay,
one,
very similar.
you're given a shape, which is the train stop, basically, and you are connecting you're building the railway to the next shape, basically. So you might have a square that you connect to a triangle, and then at the square, a little triangle will pop up. And that means there's a triangle at the square that wants to get to the triangle. So you connect them, and now a train car is going to appear, and your triangle is going to hop on that train car, and it's going to take it to the triangle station. So again, very similar in premise. More shapes pop up, more people want to get on the trains. In this one, again, similar to the stoplights or traffic circles, you get power ups, which are wind up being additional cars, additional train cars, or a larger capacity train car, and things like that. Also, bridges or what do you call it? Tunnels and things like that. So anyways, very sort of similar style, but a lot of fun, a little more complex than Mini Motorways. I haven't played nearly as much as I have Mini Motorways, but that's because of that sort of learning curve. When you've played Mini Motorways, you think Mini Metro plays in a certain way that it doesn't. And you kind of have to readjust your brain to figure out and understand what exactly it is. Because it's a little
Yeah.
less connect the dots and a little more sort of plan the path, if you will. So
Yeah, I'm like watching the little gameplay clips, and of course these trailers are cut kind
mhm,
of weird. They're kind of like really fast. But
mhm.
yeah, I'm trying to wrap my head around because Mini Motorways made sense.
Yeah,
You drag a road,
building the
and then
roads.
I don't know what's going on with this Switch trailer, but yeah, Mini Mini Metro, you're connecting to shapes and to people are shapes, so it does sound a little more complicated.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
But still, it's fun nonetheless. And this one was a recommendation from Josh, of course, High Score Weekly on socials. He mentioned Mini Metro when I said over in the Drop in Drop Out Discord that I was really enjoying Mini Motorways. So he said I should try it, and I did, and it's been a lot of fun. So
Very cool.
that's number 2. But if those Dinosaur Polo Club games are not your style, there's a third one. And this one I have to shout out Phil over in the Drop in, Drop Out Discord, who suggested a game called Outlanders, another Apple Arcade game. This one is by Pomelo Games. Pomelo. It has to be Pomelo. And he actually suggested Outlanders. Turns out there is an Outlanders 2, and I went straight for the number 2 instead of the number 1. But regardless, I'm sure the second one just builds on some of the systems in the first one. This is basically a resource management, almost a city builder type of game, right? So you have the overhead perspective, the God perspective kind of thing. You're given a map, and there are people living in this, map of yours. And essentially they have needs, they need shelter, they need food. And in order to get them those things, you have to build buildings by gathering resources. So this game is actually kind of exactly what I want in a sim. And I have to admit that I don't think I've ever actually played like a city builder. Yeah, that trailer didn't do us much. No gameplay in there, but um, I've always liked the idea of resource management games, but generally speaking, they're always mouse and keyboard on PC. And as a non-PC gamer, I've never really dove into them too much. But this one being, obviously touch controlled on my phone, worked out really well. Very straightforward, pinch to zoom, whatever, slide your finger to turn, and then, move 2 fingers to move around and stuff like that. But I really like the art style in this one. It's very cute, and it works very well with the overhead sort of God perspective. Man, this is like some PvP stuff that it's showing us on this
Is
trailer
it?
or something. I don't.
Oh, Outlanders 2.
Outlanders Chronicles Volume 2. I don't know what that was, but that was
I
definitely
thought
like
that was
related to the game, but not
yeah.
quite the game.
Sure, sure.
Um, but anyways, yeah. So you start out, and it kind of has a nice tutorial that walks you through. It does have a air quotes story mode that focuses on one character. Basically, he functions as sort of the center of the village, and he's teaching them how to be self-sufficient. You do that intro level, and then it goes to the next chapter of him with this village, and you do three chapters with him, and then it's on to another character that is sort of the central character of these next 3 chapters. And so far, it's all teaching you how to play. It's all, hey, now we're going to introduce this building, which needs flour. This building needs or makes flour, which makes
Yeah.
bread. But how do
Okay.
you get the flour? You need wheat. So you need a farm. Then you plant the wheat. You harvest the wheat. The wheat gets made into flour. The flour gets made into bread. And now your people can eat bread, right? And every level has different goals. Hey, we want 80 bread made or whatever. We want 20 logs in your storage, that kind of thing. So anyways, I would say it's probably a pretty typical resource management city builder. But it's nice and chill. It's challenging without being too challenging. I think just sort of the right degree of difficulty, and the goals for
That's
each
good.
level are tuned very well. So it's like realistically, if you know what you're doing and you know how you're controlling the game, you'll get all the goals and just progress through kind of thing. I had one slip up today where I didn't realize that I had to toggle on the collecting of the tomatoes. And so I didn't realize until day 40 out of 50, and I needed to have 20 tomatoes by the end. And
Oh no.
I didn't make it because tomatoes take 10 days to grow. Anyways, and I noticed on day 40 of 50, if I'd noticed on day 39, I would have had it. But anyways.
You can harvest on the 50th day. That's when everyone
Yeah,
starves.
exactly. Exactly. Everyone
So
starves.
okay, so it's kind of like Mini Metro, Mini Motorways, where you have to reach a certain goal, or else you fail the game, right? Sounds
Yeah,
like.
each level has generally it's like 3 main goals and then 2 optional ones.
Hmm.
So the level that I just played, like, yeah, you had to have, I think it was like 80 bread by the end. You had to have 20 logs in a warehouse, and then you had to build 3 plank houses, which there's a basic house, then there's a plank house, right? And, just takes a higher level of resources to build.
Interesting. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So
But yeah,
yeah, a little bit of planning ahead. Mhm.
yeah, definitely recommend this one. Um, it might be my favorite of the 3, although I've probably spent the most time with Mini Motorways, again, just because it's got that sort of really low bar of entry. And
Mhm.
once you played one level in Mini Motorways, sorry, you know how to play that game. Whereas this one is like, each level, again, like I say, for the sort of story mode, is introducing you to a new building that requires new resources, that requires new management. So there's more to this game than the others, um, but yeah, I'm really liking it, and it's really making me wish I still had Max. Sorry, the Max version of an iPhone, because I changed
Mhm.
from the Pro Max to the Pro with my most recent phone, and now I miss the screen real estate of the Max. So, anyways, and that
there's
goes for Mini
always
Motorways too. But yeah,
there's always the upgrade year to look forward to for that kind of
yes,
stuff.
this is my upgrade year. It in November, but anyways, me and my wife
Mini Motorways will always be there.
we rotate years. Yeah. Anyways,
It's good. It's a good way to do it. Yeah. My wife just never upgrades, and then she gets my secondhand thing. Well, I hope you enjoyed our discussion this week on both Wuthering Heights. And if you
Mhm,
don't want to watch a romantic, sappy movie, you can play 3 games on your phone:
mhm.
Mini Motorways, Mini Metro, and Outlanders 2.
That's right. You got it.
Do you know the difference between Outlanders 1 and 2? Or
I don't. When Phil
probably
first
nothing.
recommended it in the drop in drop
Yeah.
out Discord, I asked him. I said, "Oh, I just searched it up and I see there's a 2. Is there any big draw to 1 over 2?" And he said, "I've
Uh-huh.
never played 2 because 1 has everything I need in it." And I said, "Okay, I'm gonna try 2." So I tried 2. Maybe I'll try 1.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. If you enjoyed this episode, so that means you got to stay till the end and listen to our outro.
That's right.
If you enjoyed this episode, make sure you stay subscribed to Grow Up, Level Up. We do interviews, previews, reviews on everything video games, movies, and more. This week, we had our Sunset Selects where we tell you about the games that you should be playing in your 5 to 9 after your 9 to 5. Last week, we talked a little bit about Overwatch's comeuppance.
Mhm.
And the week before that, a couple weeks before that, we've done interviews with, we mentioned it earlier in the show, Kayla from Drop In Dropout and JK Games, and Kevin from Gallant Gaming. Those are the 2 interviews we did so far this year. But of course, we have a huge library of interviews full of wisdom
That's
of
right.
people who still play games in their journeys of life, and talked about all that as well. Yes, Jordan.
Not quite an interview, but it was sort of an interview. Don't forget, and I don't recall her name, but your friend with the pottery kiln,
Emily.
Emily.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, that was a fun one. Yeah, we also reacted to Kiln by Double Fine, and talked to a real Potter, Emily, about what the heck is this even real pottery? Like, is this a game a Potter would play, or is it for gamers? Who
yeah,
knows?
yeah,
That was a fun one as well. Yes,
yeah.
definitely check it all out at Grow Up Level Up on YouTube and all the socials. That's where you'll find our episodes. Oh, and podcast services as well. If you want to follow my shenanigans, including my shenanigans next weekend over at Pokemon TCG Regionals, or Pokemon Regionals in general, over in Seattle, follow me at Samson XP on all the socials, at SMSN on Blue Sky as well, of course. Jordan, where can people find you?
You can find me on all socials across the internet at Sir Dr. JM. That's at Sir DRJM. The best place to follow me is Instagram. However, I would also encourage you to go check out twitch.tv/Sir Dr. JM and smash that follow button, turn on notifications so you can know when I go live. You talked about it at the top of the show. I'm trying to establish a regular streaming schedule. It's tough when you only have one computer that is capable of doing your streaming, and it is in fact your wife's work computer. She's a contractor, so it's our computer, but she uses it for work.
It's for work.
Exactly. Yeah. So sometimes she just needs to be working, and that means I can't stream. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, most likely days you'll catch me. But yeah, that's it for me. Twitch.tv/Sir Dr. JM.
Hit that notification bell so you don't miss a Sir Dr. JM stream. Now, we like to end each episode with words of wisdom, but this popped up on my radar just before the show started, and I was kind of saving it for the end because it's a nice little bow on our movie/game filled episode. But first I have to verify. Jordan, do you know who Toby Fox is?
Toby Fox, creator of Undertale.
Yes, very good. Talented in many ways. Creator of Undertale, his best work. He just tweeted out, or he just retweeted this. I'm pulling it up on our video version, so take a look if you're there.
It's just going.
Super excited to see this finally announced. Can't wait for you guys to see what we have in store for you this time.
It's his
retweeting a trailer for Toy Story 5.
Is he a character?
What?
Is he making a game?
Maybe. Did he have a hand in them? Because he's also written music for Pokemon.
Has he?
He has, yeah. He's of course made many games. Yeah, I think Pokemon. I forget if it was Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet had music by Toby Fox.
Okay,
some bangers.
Cool.
So what could he be doing in Toy Story 5? I guess we'll just have to find out on June 19th. But those are your wise words for the end of the episode. What could Toby Fox be doing?
I just Googled Toby Fox Toy Story 5, and one of the first things that comes up is a Reddit post from 7 hours ago. Toy Story 5 finally got announced, but where is Deltarune? Anyways, that made me laugh. People like, why is he messing with the movie? He should be making his game. Anyways.
We'll find out. See you next week, everybody.